I stood in the doorway watching her try on the third dress in an hour for dinner with her ex-business partner, and I knew the venue coordinator's call I had scheduled for tomorrow morning wasn't going to happen. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was late March in Phoenix, the kind of evening where the heat finally breaks and you can sit outside without sweating through your shirt. I'm 36, been working as an operations manager for a commercial HVAC company for the past 8 years. Solid job, good benefits, predictable hours. My girlfriend Amanda was 33, worked as a senior accountant at a mid-sized firm downtown. We'd been together for 4 years, living together in a 2-bedroom townhouse for the last 2 years. Everything felt stable. We talked about the future like it was a given, not a question. The changes started sometime in late February, subtle enough that I almost missed them. Amanda began staying late at the office more frequently, sometimes not getting home until 8 or 9 at night. She said it was tax season crunch time, which made sense. Her firm always got slammed this time of year. But then I noticed she was dressing differently for work. More effort, more thought. She bought new blouses, got her hair done twice in 3 weeks, started wearing perfume on days she used to just throw on whatever was clean. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe she had new clients, wanted to look more polished. But then the phone habits changed. She started taking calls in the other room. She'd get texts and wait until I wasn't looking to check them. Her laptop, which used to sit open on the coffee table, was suddenly password protected and always closed when I walked by. When I asked if everything was all right, she gave me the same answer every time. Work stress, big accounts, pressure from the partners. Nothing to worry about. I wanted to believe her, so I did. Then came last Tuesday. We were having dinner at home, just pasta and salad, nothing fancy. She was picking at her food, clearly distracted. Finally, she put down her fork and looked at me. "So, I need to tell you something," she said. I looked up from my plate. "Okay, you remember Brian, right? From my old job." I remembered. Brian was someone Amanda had worked with at her previous firm about 5 years ago, before she moved to her current position. They'd been close, maybe too close based on some of the stories she'd told. There was always this ambiguity about whether they'd ever crossed professional lines. She said they hadn't, but I'd always wondered. "Yeah, I remember," I said. "Well, he reached out a few weeks ago. He's launching his own consulting business and wanted to pick my brain about some accounting systems. We've been grabbing coffee here and there, just professional stuff. A few weeks." That explained the wardrobe changes, the secretiveness. I kept my face neutral. "Anyway," she continued, "he's having this dinner thing on Friday. Kind of a soft launch for his business, inviting potential clients and former colleagues. It's at that new steakhouse downtown, the fancy one." I told him I'd come. I waited for her to say we. She didn't. He specifically said to keep it industry people only. So the conversation stays focused on business connections and all that. It wouldn't make sense for you to be there since you don't work in finance. The way she said it was so casual, so matter of fact. Like she was telling me she'd be working late. Not that she was excluding me from an evening event with a man who clearly had history with her. Not asking if I was comfortable with it. Not suggesting we talk about boundaries. Just informing me of her plans and explaining why I wasn't part of them. I sat there looking at her, and something shifted inside my chest. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It was clarity. She was testing me. Or maybe she'd already decided I didn't matter enough to consider, and this was just her way of showing it. "All right," I said. "Sounds good." She blinked. "Really? You're okay with it?" "You're a grown woman," I said. "You can have dinner with whoever you want." She smiled, relieved. "Thanks for understanding. I knew you'd be cool about it." I smiled back and finished my pasta. But my mind was already moving. Here's what Amanda didn't know. 3 weeks ago, I'd put down a $2,000 deposit on a wedding venue. A resort about an hour north of the city, beautiful desert views, availability next October. We'd looked at it together back in January, and Amanda had loved it. She didn't know I'd followed up, gotten a quote, and secured a date. I'd been planning to propose on her birthday next month, make it a whole surprise thing. The venue contract was in my email, signed and confirmed. The deposit was refundable if canceled more than 90 days out. We were at 93 days. I'd also been working with a jeweler in Scottsdale on a custom engagement ring. $1,400 down, balance due on completion in 2 weeks. The design was based on a vintage piece Amanda had shown me months ago, something her grandmother used to wear. I'd been so proud of myself for remembering the details, for putting thought into it. Wednesday morning, Amanda left for work early. I called in sick, something I almost never do. My boss was fine with it. I sat down at my laptop with coffee and started making moves. First, I emailed the venue coordinator. Subject line, cancellation request, booking confirmation VN 4728. I kept it professional. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I need to cancel the October booking. Please process the refund of the deposit per the terms outlined in the contract. Thank you for your time and assistance. Sent at 8:42 a.m. Second, I called the jeweler. He picked up on the third ring. I explained I needed to cancel the custom order. He was disappointed but understanding. Asked if everything was okay. I said plans had changed. He said he'd process the refund minus a $100 design fee, which was fair. The remaining $1,300 would be back in my account within 5 business days. I thanked him and hung up. Third, I opened our shared lease agreement. We were both on it, equal responsibility. The lease had a clause that allowed either party to terminate with 60 days written notice and 1 month's rent as a penalty. I drafted a formal notice to our landlord, stating my intent to vacate by May 31st. I'd pay the penalty out of my own account. No need to split it. I saved the document, but didn't send it yet. I wanted to have everything lined up. I spent the rest of Wednesday researching apartments. Found a few one-bedroom places within my budget, sent some inquiry emails, scheduled viewings for the weekend. I felt calm, focused, like I was solving a logistics problem at work, just mapping out the most efficient route from point A to point B. Thursday, I went back to work. Acted normal. Came home, made dinner, watched a show with Amanda. She was on her phone a lot, smiling at texts. I didn't ask about it. That evening, she went into the bedroom and started pulling dresses out of the closet, holding them up in front of the mirror. 3 different outfits, trying to decide which one looked best. Big meeting tomorrow? I asked from the doorway. Oh, no, just that dinner thing with Brian I mentioned. Right, I said. She settled on a dark blue dress I'd never seen before. New purchase, probably. She hung it on the back of the door, laid out jewelry to match. I watched her prepare for another man's event like I was furniture in the room. Like my opinion didn't rate consideration. Friday morning, she spent extra time getting ready. Hair, makeup, the works. She left for work at 7:30, kissed me on the cheek, said she'd probably be home late. The dinner was at 7, she said, but there might be drinks after. Don't wait up. Have a good time, I said. She left. I waited 10 minutes, then sent the notice to the landlord. Copied myself on the email. Timestamp, 7:44 a.m. Then I called my buddy Carlos, who manages a storage facility. Asked if he had a climate-controlled unit available. He said yes. I reserved it for 2 months, paid up front. Then I called a moving company, explained I needed help on Sunday, moving some furniture into storage. They had a slot at noon. Booked. Friday evening I started packing. I worked methodically, room by room. My clothes, my books, my electronics. Kitchen items I'd brought into the relationship, a mixer my mom gave me, a knife set I'd bought myself. I left anything we'd purchased together. The couch, the TV, the dining table, all hers or shared. I didn't want complications. I took photos of everything with my phone, time-stamped, just documentation. By midnight, I had 12 boxes packed and stacked in the spare bedroom. Amanda still wasn't home. I texted her, "Hope you're having fun. I'm heading to bed." No response. She came home at 1:30 in the morning. I heard her come in, fumble with her keys, kick off her shoes in the hallway. She didn't come to the bedroom. I heard the TV turn on in the living room. I lay there in the dark, wide awake, listening to her move around. Eventually, I fell asleep. Saturday morning, I woke up at 6. Amanda was asleep on the couch, still in her dress. I made coffee quietly, then continued packing. My desk, my dresser, my weights from the garage. I worked all morning. By noon, I had everything that was clearly mine separated out. I'd rented a small U-Haul for Sunday, but I wanted to be ready. Amanda woke up around 11, groggy and hungover. She shuffled into the kitchen, saw me carrying a box toward the spare room. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Just organizing some stuff," I said. She shrugged and went to make coffee. Didn't ask any follow-up questions. That told me everything I needed to know about her level of awareness or concern. Sunday morning, the movers arrived at noon sharp. 2 guys, professional and efficient. We loaded my furniture, my boxes, everything I'd set aside. It took 90 minutes. Amanda was out, brunch with friends, so she didn't see any of it. I timed it that way. I did a final walkthrough of the townhouse. It looked emptier, but not devastated. The living room still had the couch and TV. The kitchen was intact. The bedroom had her furniture. I left my key on the kitchen counter next to an envelope. Inside the envelope, a check for my half of April's rent and utilities, calculated to the day. A printed copy of my notice to the landlord. A brief note on plain paper. Amanda, I've moved out. My share of expenses through April 30th is included. I've notified the landlord of my intent to vacate by May 31st per the lease terms. You'll need to decide whether to take over the full lease or find alternative arrangements. My email remains available for any necessary coordination regarding final bills or deposits. Take care. No anger. No accusations. Just information. I drove to the storage unit and unloaded with the mover's help. Then I drove to a furnished short-term rental I'd secured, a small one-bedroom in Tempe. Month-to-month lease, utilities included. It was basic but clean. I could think there. I could breathe. By 6 p.m. Sunday, I was unpacked in my new place. I ordered Chinese food, cracked open a beer, and turned on a basketball game. My phone was off. I felt lighter than I had in months. Monday morning, I turned my phone back on. 17 missed calls from Amanda. 23 text messages. For voicemails. I didn't listen to the voicemails. I skimmed the texts. They followed a predictable pattern. Sunday 5 p.m. Where are you? Sunday 6 p.m. Your stuff is gone. What the hell is going on? Sunday 7 p.m. Call me right now. Sunday 8 p.m. This is insane. You can't just leave without talking to me. Sunday 10 p.m. Please just tell me what's happening. I'm freaking out. Monday 7 a.m. I don't understand what I did. Please talk to me. I opened my email instead and sent her a message. Subject line, logistics. Amanda, everything you need to know is in the note I left. I've moved out permanently. Please handle all communication regarding the townhouse, bills, or property through email going forward. I won't be responding to calls or texts. I hit send and blocked her number. She called my work line an hour later. My assistant answered, asked if I wanted to take it. I said no. I was in a meeting. Amanda called 3 more times that day. I told my assistant to route any calls from her to voicemail. Tuesday, she sent 6 emails. The first few were confused and hurt. I don't understand what happened. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. This is crazy. We've been together 4 years, and you just vanish. The later ones got angry. You're being completely unfair. I went to one dinner, and you abandoned our entire relationship? Do you realize how immature this is? You didn't even try to communicate. I didn't respond. Wednesday, her best friend Nicole called my cell from her number. I answered because I didn't have her blocked. Hey, it's Nicole. Amanda's really messed up right now. What's going on? That's between Amanda and me, I said. She said you moved out without any warning. That's pretty harsh, don't you think? I gave her the information she needed. If she wants to discuss logistics, I'm available by email. She just wants to talk to you. Can you at least? Nicole, I appreciate you caring about your friend, but I'm not going to discuss this with you. Have a good day. I hung up and blocked her number too. Thursday, Amanda tried a different approach. She sent an email with the subject line, I'm sorry. The body was long. She said she'd been thinking about everything, and she could see how the dinner with Brian might have looked bad. She said she hadn't been thinking about my feelings, that she'd been selfish and caught up in the excitement of reconnecting with old colleagues. She said nothing happened with Brian. It really was just a professional dinner, and she was sorry if she made me feel excluded or unimportant. She said she loved me and wanted to fix this. It was a decent apology, maybe even sincere. But the thing is, it didn't matter anymore. The disrespect wasn't really about one dinner. It was about the weeks of secretiveness before it, the new clothes and the sneaking around. The way she'd framed my exclusion as logical rather than asking how I felt about it. The way she'd come home at 1:30 in the morning and slept on the couch without explanation. I sent a brief reply. I appreciate you taking the time to reflect. I think we're looking for different things in a relationship. I wish you well. She responded immediately. That's it. For years and you're just done? Can we at least meet in person and talk this through like adults? I didn't reply. Friday she showed up at my office building. Security called up, said someone was asking for me in the lobby. I looked at the camera feed. Amanda, looking tired and desperate. I told security I wasn't available and to ask her to leave. She stood there for 15 minutes, then left. The following week was quieter. A few more emails that I didn't respond to. One letter delivered to my office, handwritten, asking for another chance. I filed it away and moved on. 2 weeks after I moved out, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Amanda and Brian were spending a lot of time together. Not surprising. Whether it had started before or after I left didn't really matter to me. The point was, my instinct had been correct. A month later, I heard they were officially together. She'd updated her social media, posted a photo of them at some restaurant. People were commenting, confused about the timeline. I didn't look too closely. It wasn't my business anymore. 6 weeks after that, I heard through the same acquaintance that Brian's consulting business had fallen through. Turned out he didn't have the client base or capital to sustain it. He'd moved back in with his parents to regroup. Amanda was apparently shocked. She'd thought she was dating an entrepreneur, ended up with someone unemployed and struggling. 2 months after I left, I heard they'd broken up. She'd realized he wasn't who he'd presented himself to be. The whole thing had been smoke and mirrors. I felt nothing hearing this news. No vindication, no sympathy. Just the vague acknowledgement that reality has a way of sorting things out. I'd moved into a nicer one-bedroom apartment by then, a place with a balcony and a view of the mountains. I'd gotten a small raise at work. I'd started going to a climbing gym, made some new friends there. I was sleeping better than I had in years. 3 months after everything ended, I was at a coffee shop on a Saturday afternoon, the place near my new apartment that I'd started frequenting. I was reading a book when someone sat down at my table uninvited. I looked up. Amanda. She looked different. Thinner, older somehow. Her hair was back to its natural color, no fancy styling. "Hi," she said. "Hi," I said. "Can we talk for a minute?" "We're talking now," I said. "I mean really talk. About everything." I closed my book and looked at her. "What do you want to say?" "I made a huge mistake," she said. "With Brian. With how I handled everything. I didn't see what I had until it was gone. I know that's a cliché, but it's true." "Okay," I said. "I want to try again. I know I hurt you, but I've learned from it. I'm different now." "Maybe you are," I said, "but I'm not interested. You won't even consider it." Her voice cracked a little. "No." "Why not?" "Because you showed me who you were when it mattered. You made your choices. I made mine. I apologized. I explained. What more do you want?" "I don't want anything," I said. "That's the point." She stared at me, eyes getting wet. "So that's it. You just moved on?" Like I meant nothing. "You meant something," I said quietly. Past tense. But I'm not going to spend energy trying to rebuild something with someone who didn't value it the first time around. I respect myself too much for that. "That's cold." "That's honest," I said. "You made decisions based on what you wanted in the moment. I made decisions based on what I needed long term. We're just different people." She stood up abruptly. "You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe we are too different. You're so rigid, so black and white. No forgiveness, no second chances. That's on you." "You're right," I said. "It is on me. And I'm fine with that." She walked out without another word. That was 3 months ago. Haven't heard from her since. I'm doing well. Got another promotion at work, leading a bigger team now. Started dating someone new, taking it slow, no pressure. She's a project manager at a construction company, has her own life, her own goals. We're building something with mutual respect as the foundation. I learned something from the whole situation with Amanda. When someone shows you they don't prioritize you, believe them immediately. Don't wait around hoping they'll change their mind or realize your value. Your self-respect isn't negotiable, and walking away with your dignity intact is worth more than clinging to something broken. Have you ever had to choose yourself over a relationship that wasn't serving you? Let me know in the comments what you think.